The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN. Thursday morning, 8:30 a.m., 60 minutes to go until the opening bell. Quite a day yesterday in the markets, and we might have another wild one today because we got some events that are just going to come as we come on the air. We're going to wait for fourth quarter GDP, which is coming to us in a moment. We're also going to get weekly jobless claims coming to us at 8:30 in the morning. As we kick things off right now, you're looking at an S&P negative by about 7 points, trading at 37.37. We'll take a look at the S&Ps. Quite the acceleration yesterday, right? Early Tuesday, the market's trading at 38.62. Pretty tame day when you look at the market action on Tuesday. Man, things really start to escalate at about 4 in the morning Wednesday morning. We're trading at about 38.40. You trade down 140 S&P points by about 6:45 last night. We've been chopping around in the S&Ps from a price point of about 37.10 to the upper boundary of about 37.50. We're currently trading 37.37. NASDAQ, the tech stocks. We'll get over to Apple in a moment. Apple, Facebook, Tesla out with their earnings last night. We'll jump to them in a moment. Right now, though, we get the NASDAQ 100 off about 0.8%, trading right at 13,000 right now. The Dow up 1 point at 30,190, and you get the Russell up 9 points at 2113. Interesting statistic. How about GameStop now being the second largest company in the Russell 2000? My goodness, right? All right, jumping around to the fundamental news coming out at 8:30. We'll kick it off. Weekly jobless claims coming in at 847,000 for the week. That's an initial jobless claim number. 875,000 was the expected number there. So a little bit lighter than the market was looking for, but pretty much in line for what we're talking about in terms of what they are looking for on a weekly basis. Sliding down to what they have going on. We'll break down these numbers a little bit more as they break it down. That number just hitting the tape at 8:30. S&Ps again, down about 6 points. I'm going to jump real quick to the daily on the S&P. Now, interesting, if you just zoom it in from the run that we've had since about October 30th, you start looking at possible retracements, folks, of just a natural retracement, right? We go from a price point of about 3,200 to almost 3,900, even a 382 retracement. Well, we almost got there in one day, but you're talking about still potentially 120 S&P points below that price level of 36.17, and that is just from where we were at November 1st. All right, the other data point coming out at 8:30 this morning, you're talking about fourth quarter GDP. 4% increase. The market was looking for about a 4.3% estimate. So both of those hitting the tape at about 8:30 this morning, not about 3 minutes ago at 8:30 this morning. So fourth quarter GDP increasing 4%. That is going to encompass the final 3 months of 2020. And right now, zooming in on the short-term action, a little bit of a pop by the tune of about a few points in the markets. We're currently trading in the S&Ps down 5 points right now. All right, where do we start? We got to jump around to the fan favorites on Reddit. My goodness, it does not stop, folks. GameStop. Last night, we're at about 350 in the closing session. The news breaks last night that the subreddit Wall Street Bets, which has been in the press many, many times lately, as in that seems to be one of the main factors driving the retail trading phenomenon in some of these stocks. News breaks that potentially that subreddit, basically, it's a forum, folks. If you're unfamiliar with it, we're probably all familiar with it right now. I'll go over the numbers. My dad sent me an article today. 1 million members have joined this subreddit. It's a forum for people to interact and to chat. News breaks that potentially that forum has been brought down. Okay, internet says, oh, man, they're shutting us down, right? They're making sure that we can't do this anymore. Well, what happens, folks? No, it turns out that it was just so much programming. They needed to basically beef up the back end because the thing was getting so many hits. So they bring it back online. GameStop goes from a low last night of 217 to 513. We're holding steady at 451. The volume numbers at these prices is amazing, to put it lightly. I mean, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of shares of a company, of a price that's trading at almost $500, right? Staggering when you think about it, really staggering in terms of the money that is being pushed out. I don't see how this maintains a price level anywhere near $500 for the next week or two. You have online brokerages, whether it's Robinhood, whether it's TD Ameritrade, right, limiting access to certain equities. Robinhood, I believe, I saw this morning, not allowing entry into options closing on Friday in some of these equities. Usually what happens in the option world, folks, is that you cannot enter into an option. Let's say here's the January 29th. We're just going to zoom it down to a short term. Here, the January 29th, the options expire this week on Friday. Normally what will happen is you can initiate trades up until the day of, but tomorrow, January 29th, you would not be able to open trades. As in, you would not be able to open a new trade for the option that is expiring that same day. Well, what did they do? They say you can't even open them today. You can't open them today. Only closing trades allowed. That was out from Robinhood. Not sure if many of the other brokerages are doing something similar. They may be, as they try and get a handle on their own risk, which is a big aspect of what they're trying to quantify there. And yeah, so the article that Tom, my dad, sent me about Bloomberg, about Wall Street Bets from Bloomberg, more than 1 million new members rushed to join the Wall Street Bets overnight at Reddit forum, briefly went dark Wednesday evening. That's after it went dark, okay? You have it now at 4.4 million members. That's up from 3.4 million members just last evening, and that's up from 2.5 million members that were there just last Friday. Remarkable. Jumping around to some of the other stocks that are joining the chorus in higher action. AMC was a big one yesterday, holding up relatively well this morning. And what do we have going on? American Airlines. They were out with their earnings. The retail traders were onto them at the beginning of the day yesterday. Looks like a nothing burger yesterday compared to the action you have going on this morning. American comes out with their numbers. We spiked to 31. We're back to 23. Where the fun ends, no one knows as of just yet. What else we have moving this morning? How about the cruise lines? Why not? We got Carnival up to about $22.50 this morning. Norwegian up as well to $26.75 before backing off. Just be careful in these trades, folks. A lot of people are going to get hurt, unfortunately. A lot of people are going to make a lot of money, as they already have as well. But, man, make sure if you're making trades in these equities that basically anything should be on the table, right? Literally anything. I mean, you could see, you better believe if you're playing with GameStop, man, that you could see GameStop at like $20 by the end of today. Is that possible? Yes. What are the chances? I'm not sure. You know, the only thing I'm sure of, the chances of that happening are greater than 0%. That's what I say in a lot of times, folks. And if the chances are greater than 0% of anything, you have to be preparing for that risk to be possible. You're seeing a lot of these hedge funds where they were playing a game where the risk that they were taking was infinitesimal. Tiny, tiny, tiny. I mean, when they were quantifying, okay, when Melvin Capital was quantifying their short position, all right, they're making estimates of a max pain situation, all right? And my guess is their max pain situation did not incorporate GameStop trading to above $500 by January 28th. Something to consider, folks. Have those risks in line, no matter how you're trading, whether you're using capital that you just realize is all at risk, however it is. All right, we got a lot to go over after the break, folks. We got Apple, we got Tesla, we got Facebook. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome, folks. You get the S&Ps right now flat. You get the NASDAQ minus 73. So all this stuff in the brokers, right? They're talking about in the den. You got Robinhood supposedly blocking access to certain stocks. You have Portnoy out there from Barstool. He's getting them grief, of course. He's one of the best self-promoters out there, the way he's able to jump onto what's in the press going on right now. One thing that's so difficult about all of this, right, like I just said, is that you have a situation that these companies have to protect themselves. And to a certain degree, when you look at what's going on, like I just mentioned, what are the chances that GameStop's at like literally $20 by the end of today? It's a chance greater than zero. I don't think you can say that about almost any other stock we've ever seen in my history where it's trading at $500 pre-market, and you say, what are the chances it's at $20 by the end of today? I say, I don't know, maybe. If you're in the brokerage business and you have people piling onto GameStop at $500 a share, they're taking away margin, which you have to do, okay? If you're not in margin and you're in cash, you should be able to buy those equities. And you better be doing it with capital that you better realize could be at literally $0 by the end of the day. But we're seeing a lot happen, man. All this talk about retail traders, right, limiting their line. You can't protect folks from making bad decisions with their own money, folks. You can to a certain degree. You can protect them from being harmed by fraud and being harmed in that degree. But these are not people who have zero idea of what they're doing. These are people who, just like Wall Street, okay? I mean, what were these short sellers doing? Shorting stocks with more available shares than were even available, with more short percentage than's even available. I mean, what a target on their backs. I mean, they're the one financial engineering here, all right? Wall Street Bets isn't doing that. Wall Street Bets isn't shorting a stock with more shares that are even in the float, all right? So all this talk, there's going to be some people who are going to be hurt. It's going to be a bummer when this thing cascades back to reality, which I imagine is going to happen. But all this talk about, it's illegal and all this stuff, collusion's illegal, bottom line. But if you don't think that the titans of Wall Street, okay, like the pillars of Wall Street, the people who get like put up on these statues, if you don't think that they are focusing on the same type of trades that these Wall Street bets retail traders are trading, then you're just not paying attention, folks, because they are constantly looking for supply, demand, weaknesses in stocks. We'll leave it at that. All right, let's jump around to some of the stocks. So, biggest stock in the world, Apple, out with their numbers last night. We're going to jump to that real quick. Apple, $111 billion sales haul in 90 days. Remarkable. iPhone revenue reaching $65.6 billion, as they call it, the super cycle. I was a member of that super cycle, upgrading my iPhone. We'll see how this plays out, in terms of what they're talking about in terms of guidance. Revenue propelled by the iPhone 12, first iPhone line to include 4 new models. That handset sales, more than $5 billion more above what they wanted to come in with. When you look at the future, though, a little bit worried in terms of where they're going to go. As the headline says, cautious outlook. So nonetheless, pretty strong numbers from Apple, and we're trading just slightly lower this morning. All right, we got a caller. Let's go to Scott in Safety Harbor. Scott, good morning. What's going on?
Hey, on GameStop, it's just a wonder to me that anybody's in the stock at all at this time. I mean, who would keep a stock that they bought for, even, in the 20s or $30, $40, it was $5, who wouldn't sell it at the current price? I mean, it's just inevitable that people are going to be cashing out. And like you said, as soon as that starts, it'll be $20 stock again. So I'm not sure why they aren't doing it right now. And this group buying is, wow, it's, I don't, it's like Motley Fool, right? They do all that guerrilla marketing about their 10 best stocks. And one reason that some of those stocks go up is the fact that they get so many people believing it, like you're talking about, and a group goes to buy something, they cause the stock to go up. I mean, sure. The way I read the SEC laws, I mean, that's against the law, so it's just bizarre.
You make some good points, all right? So what I struggle to, just in my own mind, is that what's the massive difference of these billionaire short sellers who get podiums all over CNBC, all over Bloomberg, to state their case and try and build their own army about why you should be selling a specific equity, or even on the positive side? Wall Street, the analysts are kings of, stock goes up, well, they got to up their price. Stock goes up, they got to up their price. But on the short seller side, what is the massive difference of the likes of these short sellers that put out big reports that say, this is what you should be doing, this is where I think the stock's going, this is what I'm doing, I'm putting potentially billions of dollars behind this, and maybe you should be doing the same, right?
There is no difference, Tommy. There is no difference at all, because I've seen too many times where a CEO has bought, shares back and so forth. Then 3 days later, or even two days later, he's on Jim Cramer for one of his little warm and fuzzy sessions where Jim just really is practically hugging him and saying, "Oh, exactly. You're a great guy," and all that. And of course, the stock jumps up. Right. I mean, there's no difference. There's no difference. So I guess it's just a little guy is getting in on this.
Listen, and I don't. It's going to be a real shame, man. Like you talk about, Scott. That. Like I was just talking about, man, never before have I said, can a $500 stock go to 20 in the same day? And you better believe it can, folks, because, once the exit is – the volume that these equities are doing at these price levels is staggering, like you're saying. But somehow it's existing right now. And the tough part about how you prevent this, Scott, is how do you prevent this? Now, collusion's illegal, straight out, because that's manipulation. You are not allowed to manipulate markets, folks. But – Is a short seller manipulating the market when they're borrowing more shares than are even available in a float? And so who's the manipulator there? The people who are saying, wait a second, they're short selling this with more shares that are even available. That's not appropriate, so I'm going to buy this. And you should too.
You mentioned Robinhood and buying the fractional shares. And again, this is an opportunity for the little guy. But, you've probably been in Europe and seen all the little kiosks around to make your sports bets and stuff. Sure. Do you see that happening? And I'm serious, in the United States with the stock market, where you can go into a little brick and mortar place or whatever, or even on your phone and just, making these more like bets than investing. And I think that's where we're at right now. So, it's a betting atmosphere. But
I would totally agree. Here's the only thing I'll say, Scott, is that when you're trading for like 1 day, 2 days, which a lot of short-term traders are, you're making bets. You know, if you're in, you don't invest. Nobody invests in a small company for a day. You know, nobody invests in a company for 2 hours. That's a bet. That's a short-term volatility bet, in my opinion, you know, that people are making. So we've said many times now, you can be in the gambling business with a positive expectation, but they're gambles. And what you're seeing is people coming over from, and you're right, coming over from that gambling environment, right? Barstool Sports, they do Barstool Bets. They got bought by Penn Gaming, which has been through the roof. So you have these gamblers who are used to making smart bets, you know, and they're in the option market right now where you used to make a bet. I saw somebody on Bloomberg this morning saying, you make a bet in the sports world, you lose 50% of the time. That's going to happen.
Your dad hit it spot on with American Airlines. He said it was going higher, and he hit it right. I just didn't snap the trigger quick enough, but he was spot on with American Airlines.
Man.
Also,
and like
be
you said,
careful, everybody with cruise
protect
lines.
yourself.
They're losing millions of dollars a day.
Thanks, Scott. Take care, man. We'll be right back, folks.
Back in the day, I joined the Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We got the markets catching a little bit of a bid right now. We're up to 37.58 on that GDP on the weekly jobless claims. We started the program, 8:15. We're trading at 37.30, let alone last night. Things looking a little dicey. Right out of the gate, we had Facebook and Tesla right after the closing bell trading lower. Facebook has rebounded. You see the acceleration. Things look like they're going to be pretty dicey again. Facebook spikes to 252. We're basically a positive slightly this morning. You had Tesla trading dramatically lower as well, going to open about $45 lower than we were last night, reach 794. When you get into Tesla, their numbers, look at the margins they're dealing with, all right? So they pushed out, to get into the numbers here, they had profits of 80 cents a share. The market was looking for $1.03. Some of that had to do with margins, as Tesla is selling cars for less than they had previously getting into it. The price level that they're looking at, come on, where are we here? Here we go. Tesla said the average selling price of its vehicles in the fourth quarter was 11% less than a year ago. So they're decreasing the price. They're trying to push out volume. But look at those margins. September, they were pushing a 9% margin for operating margins. They're down to a 5% margin. So a little dicey, but nonetheless, Tesla trading at about 820. I talked about Facebook earnings as well. Apple shares this morning down slightly at about 140. And what else we have going on in terms of companies with earnings? We'll jump around to them real quick as we end this program. So American out with their numbers up to 22. How about this Cost stock? Cost was just trading, folks, on Tuesday at $9. We were up to 174. Please, folks. All right, greed is an emotion we all deal with, all right? Don't be greedy in this market, because who knows where some of these stocks are going to go. And please, if you're making trades, define your risk if possible. That even means buy a fractional share and realize that that could go to zero at the end of the day, because some of these folks, they are going to go basically almost to zero when you consider where we are. GameStop, the number 2 company in the Russell 2000 right now, not probably where it's going to end. The Dow, look at this market, folks. Can't hold a good market down. I say in jest. We'll see. We get the S&Ps up 20 right now. NASDAQ positive as well. All the markets green right now in the futures. Should be a wild one in the markets, folks. Stay tuned. Live programming all day at TFNN. Thanks for tuning in, folks.